will compete. Budweiser and the United States Hot Rod Association present the Triple Crown of Motorsports. Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Physioc, along with the president of the Hot Rod Association, Tony Vaccaro. And Tony, it's a lot of excitement. We anticipate 20 to 30,000 fans here tonight. Right now, it's a silent crowd because this is a couple of hours before we begin the competition. What can we expect?
Well, I think we're going to have a lot of excitement here tonight. For the first time, we have Motocross Drag Racing. We have the U.S. Hot Rod Modified Truck Pulling Contest and the famous Battle of the Monster Trucks.
Any names we might be able to mention who we could expect to win this evening?
Well, you know, it changes every week. But, of course, we've got the famous Bigfoot. We've got Blue Thunder. We've got our national champion, Bud Jaskey. But, again, if this dirt was wet yesterday, the track changes. So every week we have a different winner. We don't know. It's going to be kind of exciting, and we're all looking forward to watching it.
And Tony was talking about a personal challenge. You said this is me against machine and me against the other guy.
Oh, I think so. Is my truck tougher than your truck? I have a Ford. I have a Chevrolet. My Honda's stronger than your Honda. That's what it's all about.
A little bit of a new concept here this evening from the Veterans Stadium, and it's the design for the motocross, for the four-wheelers, the three-wheelers, and the bikes as well.
Yes, most drag strips are a straightaway, a quarter of a mile. This one has some humps in it, which the drivers will be flying through the air, and when they get the home plate, they have to turn left and do it again. They'll be running from the left field to home plate out to right field.
Tell me about the modified truck pull.
The modified truck pull, a little different contest. Normally there's a 300-foot track, but tonight we have a 160-foot track on one side of the field. The drivers will unhook, go to the other side, rehook, and pull again. The reason being, in a stadium to begin with, everyone can't get an equal view. So we decided to lay two tracks down each baseline. And in doing that, our fans can each see the trucks up close. So what we do is we'll add the two distances together, and that'll be the total distance they've pulled.
But it seems like what a lot of people come for is the battle of the monster trucks, and that is something else.
Well, it's a roaring battle. These monster machines with their 6-foot tires, they'll be flying through the air again. They'll be crushing cars, going over the humps. They also have to make a left-hand turn and head down the baselines, and they'll be going at each other. This is something that's never been done before. We'll have one going this way, one going this way. When they get the home plate, they will pass each other and continue down, and the one who gets to the end will finish that round. And then we will compete the competitors against each other, so finally we have one winner.
It looks like a great night of action from the vet in Philly, and we'll be right back to the Budweiser U.S. Hot Rod Association Triple Crown of Motorsports. Don't go away. Association Triple Crown of Motorsports. Our first competition tonight will be the Moto Drag competition. 4 categories are involved. The first, the three-wheelers, then we move on to the four-wheelers, the 125cc motorcycles, and finally the 250cc motorcycles. Tony, these three-wheelers are something special.
Yes, they are. There's going to be 2 in each class, or 2 in each heat. And then the winner from that heat will go round robin, and eventually we'll get to the eliminations.
And we talked a little bit about this track earlier. This is not like an indoor motocross where they have actually a track. This is from the left field foul pole, the home plate, and then all the way streaking as fast as you can go to the right field foul pole.
That's right, a big left turn. And they've got some loop-the-loops that are pretty wild here. We'll get a chance to see that.
Frederick, Maryland's Ted Trey will be going against Brookhaven, Pennsylvania's Randy Smith. And this is the first heat of our competition. The guys just bury themselves in all the gear you can see. And here we go. They'll be going down the track. As the gun will sound, they've got 2 jumps to make, then 4 on the intermediate and 2 in the finale. Ted Trey against Randy Smith. Trey on the inside and Smith on the outside.
Hey, green flag. There they go.
They'll try and make it over both these jumps, and immediately it is Ted Trey to take the early advantage. And Trey is going to win this one rather easily. So Trey will move on.
That's right. He'll move on. He'll run against the winner of the next 2 contestants coming up.
So Trey moves on. Frank Coryell now. Again, this is the first heat competition. On the inside is Joey Miller. And Joey from York, Pennsylvania, he's very familiar with this area, has a lot of friends here as well, and waving to the crowd already. And Tony, what they try and do is make that first jump, and on the first jump, clear the second one as well.
That's right. That's the advantage. Look at it. Whoa.
So it looks like the hometown favorite from York, Pennsylvania, Joey Miller, will advance easily.
Well, see, he was sitting in the seat. That's part of the problem. You lean back and all your weight's on those rear wheels and that whole front end comes up. That happens a lot indoors in the arena crosses. Yeah. See, he leaned back and all his weight was on his rear wheels. He couldn't control his front end whatsoever.
And he's walking off under his own power, but that's the kind of excitement we can anticipate. This is not one of the safest sports in America.
It's pretty rough riding, too, on those three-wheelers.
So we have 2 more to go. John Parry, he on the outside lane, will be matching up with Dwayne Douglas. Dwayne was a late entry. He's from Newark, Delaware, and he's driving a Kawasaki, one of only 2 Kawasaki's we have seen in the field. Everyone else in this first heat of the three-wheelers have been driving Hondas, and there they go. Douglas with the advantage early, but here we come to the turn, and all of a sudden it's John Parry taking advantage. But Dwayne Douglas is able to edge it out on the end, so Douglas will advance. So it'll be Trey, Sean Cully, Joey Miller, and Dwayne Douglas advancing to the semifinal round. So it'll be Joey Miller and Ted Trey. Miller in the white, Trey in the green, they're off. How about that?
Both men are on top.
Miller with the advantage, and Miller it is. And very close ending, Tony. Joey Miller got it just at the end, the final leap. And it almost seemed like Ted Trey, the back 2 wheels kind of hooked on that final bump, and that kind of kept him from taking that, maybe the quest for the championship.
All he needed was another 6 inches. I think he would have crested that and definitely been there.
Sean Cully. He is on the outside wearing number 58 in white. And of course, number 273, Dwayne Douglas, who almost 60 seconds ago was right out there on the track. He was in the 4th bracket of that first heat. So here he is, the second man to go in the second heat. Douglas on the green bike. Cully takes the advantage on the inside, Tony, and he will go on and move on to the championship round. I was reading in a motocross magazine the other day, they say we're talking about the danger of these three-wheelers, that of all the bikes, if you talk about two-wheelers, you talk about four-wheelers, the three-wheelers are the most dangerous vehicles to be riding on.
Yes, it is.
Why is that?
Well, all your weight is on the rear wheels, too. You've got more stability with four wheels and even with two wheels.
As we continue on with Sean Cully, he is number 58 on the outside. And Joey Miller. These young men really look like visions from the movie The Road Warrior. And the Road Warriors are at it again. The lift-off. Great lift by Joey Miller. Has the lead on the inside. Boy, he is driving it beautifully. And he has it, and has it easily. That was a pretty piece of driving. It almost looked like as soon as he took the lead, Tony, he was thinking, well, I have him now. Let's just make sure I keep things in control.
That's right, because he could lose it real easy. I think that first jump seems to be the advantage to every race we've seen here. Joey
Miller, the champion in the three-wheel competition here at Veterans Stadium. We move to the 125cc motocross competition, and this is really something special because you want to see some guys get some lift. These motorcycles only weigh between 150 and 200 pounds, so they really can get flying. Charlie White is in the blue. Brad Peterson is in the green. And Charlie White, he is a veteran of this competition, has been doing it for about 6 years. There is Brad Peterson on the outside. And Brad, a youngster, has been racing, well, actually about 10 years, but competitively just really the last 5. And he is racing for Kawasaki, you can tell. I would imagine, Tony, same situation. Make sure you make that first jump in a hurry.
These fellas just might clear those jumps without any difficulty at all. They've got a lot more power.
Good jump by Brad Peterson. Good jump by both.
Oh, I think he may have caught him right at the wire. That's pretty close.
We may have another photo finish between Charlie White and Brad Peterson. And you talk about the importance of the final jump. It looked like Charlie White had the advantage, but here they come down the stretch. Look at the lift he gets. Holy smokes. I'm going to have to give it to Charlie White, but just barely. We'll be back to the vat in Philadelphia with more Moto Drag competition right after this. And there's your winner in the 125cc Moto Drag class, number 45, Jeff Glass. We move on to the four-wheelers competition. They call them the quads, and this is some kind of event. A little more horsepower than the 125s and 250s, and the frame was obviously a little bit wider, but boy, we have the same kind of danger and excitement.
Oh,
somebody conked out up there. That's Lou Barberi, and Lou will try and finish out. But meantime, his competition will win. We've got Ken Parada here. And Steve Brown. Whoa! So Ken Parada will move on easily. Jaime Pujols didn't make it over that second jump.
See how he leans way back? He just had no weight on those front handlebars whatsoever.
And there's a look at Jamie Pujols' quad, and it's a Honda, and I don't believe we're going to be seeing that baby anymore. Building a dirt track like this one inside a stadium that is already covered with perfectly good and perfectly clean AstroTurf is no small proposition. The shopping list goes something like this. You need 2,700 sheets of plywood, enough visqueen plastic to cover 25 football fields, 60 truckloads of dirt, enough to make a track 1,000 yards long and 3 feet high. You'll also need a crew of 25, 32 hours to put it all in, and 16 hours to tear it all out. Ken Donay is the guy responsible for getting it all in and getting it all out. Now, the Phillies play baseball here as well. How long does it take to make this back into a baseball stadium?
It goes out a lot faster because the dirt's compacted from all the pulling and the racing on it, so it breaks up in chunks. It comes out real fast. We'll be out 4 to 6 hours and maybe a couple more hours to take all the plywood and the visqueen up. But the dirt and stuff goes out real fast.
It's one of the more unusual jobs in America. How do you claim it on the IRS? What do you tell them?
I tell them I have a different name and address.
This isn't just dirt either. This is a certain type of clay that can be compacted into a hard surface suitable for racing. Oh, it may be hard to tell, but this dirt is portable and will be used over and over again to mess up stadiums again and again. Well, here we go. Right away. Back to action.
Oh!
And what a tough spill taken by Frank Coryell, and he was pinned under his quad and appears to be hit in the head. Frank Coryell on his Honda. We've seen 2 spills in this quad competition already. Jamie Pujols, we were just talking about the safety in this sport compared to the motocross.
So let's take a look. He just hit hard, came over the handlebars.
Wow.
You know, one thing we're lucky about, though, all these drivers have a kill switch, and it's mounted right to the center of their belt. And if he didn't have that and his vehicle was still in gear, he could have been in a lot more trouble.
So Frank Coryell out of the competition after taking a nasty spill going over the top. Yes, indeed. Here we go. Ken Parada. He's on the inside. Taking the lead looks to be Joey Miller. Joey Miller on his Honda. So Joey Miller will continue on. This is the final round in the quad competition. Joey Miller against Tommy Holbert. And it's an easy win for Joey Miller. Joey Miller with this champion salute to the crowd and winner of this Moto Drags competition from Philadelphia. We've already taken a look at the motocross competition where the 125cc's, the 250cc's, the quads, and the three-wheelers were going from the left field foul line all the way to home plate and then all the way to the right field foul pole. What they were doing was they were jumping over these big hills. Well, now we go to the modified truck pull, and what they have to do is they have to redesign all of the carpet and all of the dirt. And Tony Vaccaro, who's the president of the U.S. Hot Rod Association, is down in the first base area, and he's watching all the activity. Tony, tell me, how do they do this, and what really takes place?
Okay, what they have to do, they've got to knock down the hill. The track has been pre-compacted underneath, so it doesn't take that much compaction. We've got to take the hills, we've got to level it, roll it again and get it even and get it ready so that it has a bite for these four-wheel drive trucks.
Thanks very much, Tony. And we'll be right back with modified truck pull competition here at the Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia coming up next. Exhibition, Tim Arfons with his Starfire funny car. And you talk about an interesting machine, but boy, is it a powerful machine, Tony. It will take this sled of some 40,000 pounds and really pull it down the track.
You'll know Tim is from the famous Arfons family. His dad, Art Arfons, was the first to break the land speed record out at Bountiful Salt Flats, or the first one, I believe, to go over 600 miles an hour quite a few years ago.
Holy smokes, 600 miles an hour?
That's right, and all jet-powered. The whole family drives jets.
Well, we're talking about a Starfire 1986 Corvette with a T58 turbine engine. That's some kind of power. What does the athlete, driver in the car have to do? Is it a good start? Because I understand there is absolutely no jerking. You have to have that steady pull at all times, but when the guy says go.
Start's important. The driver has to analyze the track. He's got to know whether to take off hard or take off easy and eventually get into it. Because if he doesn't build up enough speed, though, he will never pull that weight. So that weight will advance. You see the top of the bud cans. It's mounted on a weight box. That moves forward, and eventually all that pressure of 50,000 pounds is on that skid plate that he's hooked to right now in front of that sled.
Tim Arfons again with a T58 engine. Tony was talking about his family. That family, you can hear it, the car whining as it's winding up to really take off and power that tremendous amount of weight down the track. From the foul line to home plate here at the vet is 330 feet.
There we go, right by fire.
Tim Arfons. With a T58 turbine engine, front wheels off the ground. And a roar of the crowd and an excitement here at the vet in Philadelphia. That's some kind of power. And Tim Arfons, this bud's for you. From the vet in Philadelphia, the modified truck pull we go to with the top prize, $1,000, a beautiful trophy. And the man to lead it off, he's from Martinsburg, West Virginia. His name is Tom Beam, and he'll be driving a 1977 GMC 505 engine. Stubborn Mule is the name of his vehicle.
Okay, he's got a hook and a bite.
He had those four-wheel drive, just power driving into the earth, but finally it was digging a hole, and they're backing off on those Budweiser cans to diminish the weight a little bit.
Ken Donay, the tech director, is down there talking to the driver now. Normally, Tom would go a lot further and run a lot stronger. So I think, and we're going to wait here to see a decision, they may have to reweight the box. And by reweighting the box, they'll change the gear so that the box does not move up as quickly and put all that weight on that skid pan. The first puller is what they call the test puller. The sled is set by him, and we'll see what... No, they're going to measure it. He's going to take that pull. I'm surprised. Now that sled has to stay in that gear for every other puller. That's official at this point.
134 feet, and we'll mark that down because Tom Beam, the early leader, he is the first one to go. More from the vet in Philadelphia. Don't go away. Missile. It is driven by Joe Gilbert, and Joe Gilbert is from Gaines, Michigan, and he's driving a 1980 Chevy. And let me tell you what, I have seen the Motown Missile before. Powerful driver it was, and as a matter of fact, the competition I saw him, he went over 150 feet in weight of nearly 42,000 pounds at that time. That was a good 6 months ago.
Joe's a very good competitor. He's currently number 5 in the national standings for the points race, and Joe could very well take it here today. Again, position, the luck of the draw, because they draw for this position. They don't know ahead of time where they're going to be running.
A lot of people will ask, well, why doesn't the truck back up just a bit and jerk for the front? You can't do that.
No jump starts are allowed. Here we go. Joe's taking the outside edge, taking his own new track. And I think he's definitely taking over the lead.
The man who is 5th in the nation in the point standings right now has gone by Tom Beam and Hilton Clark and has the lead. And what a fine pull that was.
Joe used a little different strategy. You notice the other pullers went mainly down the center of the track and then favored the left side. But Joe very carefully selected where he wanted the sled set to the right side of the track. You notice now he gets very close to the out of bounds, but he stayed right there. It's fresh dirt for him. Got an excellent bite. His wheel speed is not as fast as the others do. He came out of the hole, gradual, felt that bite, and he actually could feel that in his steering wheel, and he just moved it to take the lead.
Time to muscle up for Motown Missile. Full pull on the first pull. Joe Gilbert has the early lead. So we head to the Golden Ox. Bud Jaske from New Berlin, Wisconsin, an 85 Dodge. And the Golden Ox has driven before.
Bud Jaske was the 1984 and 1985 champion, national champion, United States Hot Rod Association.
Oh, I must tell you that Tom Beam, after going 134 feet, he qualified for that second pull. The entrance will be allowed that second pull if the first pull does not exceed 60 feet on courses 225 feet or less, or if the pull does not exceed 75 feet on a course 226 to 300 feet. This is in the 226 to 300 foot variety, so all 3 competitors have gone past that 75 foot minimum. Bud Jaske. It appears he chose the right gear, too. Boy, it seemed like he had it going right from the very beginning, Tony.
Yep.
It's the Super Hog, and it's driven by Bob Minnick from Winchester, Virginia, a 1972 Chevy, and he's trying to pull the full distance. This is his first run here on the track at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Steve Physioc, along with the president of the U.S. Hot Rod Association, Tony Vaccaro. We have seen some powerful trucks. You see that 513 on the side. We're talking cubic inches, and that is a lot.
It certainly is. Bob's a good driver, too. He should do well on this pull. Here he goes.
Super Hog with a full pull, just kind of taking its snout and burying in the mud and taking it all the distance, and he has a shot. Bob Minnick does at the championship here tonight. We have seen 3 full pulls thus far. More from the vet in Philadelphia. Don't go away. Right now our leader is Joe Gilbert, and Joe has gone 289 feet, 0.8 inches. Bud Jaskey is in second place with a total of 288.5. There's the Mountaineer. Jamie Vance, he too a veteran of this modified truck circuit. Full tension on the hitch. Showed us what was underneath the hood of his vehicle. It was some kind of power, because he almost had a full pull. We'll wait for the official word from down below. How about the Mountaineer, just 7 inches shy of a full pull? 149.3 for Jamie Vance. Bob Bauman drives Yellow Fever, a 1984 Chevy from Saxonburg, Pennsylvania, and he is ready to fly down the track, and he is going to put on a little bit of show himself. He's lifting up to give this crowd here at Veterans Stadium a look at the work that he has put together for so many years on the U.S. Hot Rod Association circuit. And we're talking about a thing of beauty.
Notice how all the other flip tops would go up on an angle. Bob lifts his whole body straight up in the air.
Yes, indeed. He has a 2-piece shaft, the 4 loops, and ready to power it down the avenue. The last time we saw a little bit of advertising, we had an excellent pull. And they will hitch up Yellow Fever from Saxonburg, Pennsylvania.
Bob's crew is one of the most professional crews, too. They all have uniforms that match. We're very proud to have them running in our circuit.
A full pull because he was still moving when the official raised the yellow and red flag, saying, "You're done, Bob Bauman. You've got yourself a full pull," and we'll count on a 150-foot measure right there. Bob Minnick had a lot of success his first time. You saw the full pull. That gives him 150 feet. Our leader is Joe Gilbert with the Motown Missile going 289.8. But Bob Minnick in Super Hog, with his full pull earlier, he had the 1972 Chevy that was really pulling a lot down the track, and he too chose the right side of the track. But here in the beginning of this second portion of the track that has been piled down, we have yet to see a full pull here on the second portion of the track. Well, here we go with Super Hog. Tries the left side of the track early and then goes towards the middle.
Oh, he's got a hook.
We have ourselves a new leader. Bob Minnick with Super Hog has gone 293 feet, 3.5 inches. Mountaineer and Jamie Vance. A look at the hitch. A look at the pull. He has to have that full tension before he drives down this track. Vance just could not pull it enough. Front wheels dug in a little bit early. Didn't have the full drive at the beginning. Didn't get the momentum. And will not be among the top 3. This is Yellow Fever. Its second pull. It could take the lead with what it did in the first time. A full pull. If it takes it the distance, we will have a new leader. And Yellow Fever, the 1984 Chevy, is driven by Bob Bauman. He's from nearby Saxonburg, Pennsylvania. Full pull his first time. He's trying for it again. He was almost able to pull it the full distance, and then you saw the back wing tires dig in and the front tires then follow, and Bob Bauman could not get his second full pull. Bob Minnick had been the current leader, Joe Gilbert right behind, but Bob Bauman with Yellow Fever in the 84 Chevy has gone 194 feet, and that is our new leader. And right across the way on the first track is Chevy Stomper, driven by Bob King, and he's going to go first. And he's taking it hard right away. Bob King able to drive an excellent pull here. So Bob King's Chevy Stomper goes the distance on its first pull, 150 feet, and he'll move on to the second round looking towards the championship. Deal Wilson has a shot at the championship here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. He had a full pull his first time, and no one has had a full pull here on the second track, but he had such a great run his first time, Tony. I think Deal Wilson from Winchester, Virginia really has a strong go at it.
He's got a very good chance. He's got to go, what, 144 feet, and a half inch would take the lead.
A half inch would take the lead. A full pull would be perfect for Deal Wilson. And he's off and running. The low start in the beginning, but boy, he picked up speed.
Going to be close.
It's going to be extremely close. As Deal Wilson again, like before, with a slow start, and then just seemed to pick up steam. You'd think with that slow start that the wheels would dig in, but his did not.
Well, it depends on his air pressure, too, that he's carrying. One of his tires is a little flatter, so he can get a better bite.
Here's the official word on the Virginian driven by Deal Wilson. 293 feet 11 inches, and that is only 1 inch off the first place pace set by Bob Bauman at 294 feet. And you talk about a game of inches, we're seeing it here tonight.
Unbelievable.
But the Virginian has seen so much success in the past. Here's the Stomper. His first time, a full pull on track 1. I know I've sent it plenty tonight. Full pull on track 1, none on track 2. So the Stomper could take the lead with a full pull here or 5 feet less. The leader went 144. Bob King's off and running. He needs a good one here. Front wheels kind of twisting around. Bob King has an excellent pull. He knows he needed just a few more inches. They'll measure it here, and he'll try and move past Bob Bauman. Bob King in the Stomper needed to go 144 feet 1 inch for the championship. He goes 145 feet in pull number 2, and he wins with a total 295, Tony.
Bob King, unbelievable. You know, Bob did real well on track number 1. I really was ready to put my money on Bob Bauman with 294. That seemed to be the distance. Or 294, one would have taken it, but Bob did it by 1 foot.
So everybody in Mount Pleasant, Pennsylvania is whooping it up tonight as hometown boy Bob King, a winner here at the Vet. Tony, coming up right now is the battle of the monster trucks, and what can we expect out there? I understand this is what a lot of these fans come out here for.
Well, of course, the monster trucks have to climb. Our obstacles are old cars. In fact, some of them, I've seen a lot worse cars on the road yet today. Some of these look pretty good. It's a shame we're going to crush them.
I see your car out there.
There it is. That's from, I won't tell you what rental company. That's a rent-a-car. It doesn't bother me.
But they all have to have engines in them. Why?
because when the monster trucks get up on top of the vehicle, if they don't have an engine, the hood will cave in, and at that point, the vehicle could either tip over, lose its balance, or whatever.
Well, we're ready for the monster trucks, and we will pause with this Budweiser U.S. Hot Rod Association Triple Crown at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. Back after these words. Monster trucks. He is known all over the country with his truck, the Virginia Giant. He has done such a marvelous job over the years. $110,000 truck, and look at the horsepower.
1,015 horsepower. A lot of ponies under that hood.
And coming from the right field foul line, it will be Excalibur from Maumee, Ohio, Dan Marquardt. Driver's Mike McKell. The value $100,000, and his horsepower 500, which is a lot less than Deal Wilson, but he figures 500 is enough to get him over these cars and in time to win this event. There they go. Excalibur crushing them. And Deal Wilson in the Virginia Giant.
Excalibur made the second round of cars before Deal did.
I have dreamed of doing this in rush hour about 5 o'clock.
Excalibur has transmission problems. He can't get it into gear.
And Deal Wilson
can't get it into gear.
The horsepower 1,015 really putting on a show here.
Okay, he found the gear.
But now it's Deal Wilson's turn to try and make his way past the cars, and Deal Wilson will then take off and try and crush it more. There he goes. Going to start with a station wagon and move right over the sedans. Whoa! Excalibur with a beautiful turn. As he pounced up in the air, Virginia Giant will get there in the end as Excalibur is done. Excalibur right there has defeated Deal Wilson's Virginia Giant, and this is why. Look at him climb those cars, leap in the air, and almost turn a somersault. 500 horsepower was enough.
That's right.
When it comes to monster trucks, this may be the most famous of all time. Its name is Bigfoot. Its driver is Bob Chandler, and it will be going from the right foul line to home plate and then around and heading towards that left field foul line and hope to be the winner. The horsepower is enormous. The value, $120,000. And Bob Chandler is a true veteran of this industry, and he's a man who has put hours of time building and rebuilding that truck to high standards. And on the left field foul line, it is Blue Thunder from Fayetteville, North Carolina, driven by Kevin Dabney. He's the owner and the driver, and he too a veteran of this industry. The horsepower high at 750, and the value, well, you can tell he's put a lot of time and money into Blue Thunder. The Bigfoot is really taking him apart. Bob Chandler from St. Louis, Missouri.
I think Kevin's got some problems there. That's why Bob went ahead. He couldn't start and couldn't make it to the starting line. So Bigfoot has to go across all the cars so he can come back and compete in the final round.
Bob Chandler will have an easy victory, but he has to make it over this set of 3 cars. And he's taking his time. Stalls a little bit on the final hill, but makes it over rather nicely and powers to the end. So Chandler and Bigfoot will move on to the championship round to face Dan Marquardt of Maumee, Ohio, and Excalibur. More from the vet in Philadelphia. Don't go away. It stalled, and Deal Wilson of the Virginia Giant could not get around it. Right here, Deal Wilson had a chance to go on, win the championship, to move on to that championship round, but Dan Marquardt could not get out of the way because his car had stalled. Officials now say that they are going to disqualify Excalibur and move the Virginia Giant into the championship round. So the Virginia Giant will go against Bigfoot, and those are two of the most popular and famous monster trucks in the United States. There's the Virginia Giant. Moving on, because Excalibur was disqualified. Deal Wilson is the driver in a fabulous monster truck that had a little bit of difficulty in pausing and waiting. They're off. Bigfoot against the Virginia Giant, and the Giant Diamond cars, so too Bigfoot.
Giant is way ahead. Bigfoot's got some problems. He's
The
smoking.
Giant has the lead right now. Bigfoot is smoking a little bit. And the Virginia Giant is waiting for Bigfoot to get over those cars. The officials, perhaps, will they disqualify Bigfoot? His car is smoking. See the cloud hovering all over there. So Virginia Giant's going to go over those three cars. And boy, is he putting on a show. He is stalled right in the middle of those three. And he's raising his lid, and he's going to bite off the Bigfoot, saying, I am the champion. And the pictures begin as the Virginia Giant pausing momentarily, letting the audience know what kind of horsepower he has underneath his hood and why he will go on and win the monster truck competition here this evening at Veterans Stadium. Well, the Virginia Giant getting that second chance.
So picking up the pieces down there on the floor there. He definitely did break something.
Deal Wilson's Virginia Giant just able to take advantage of Excalibur's elimination, and this is Bigfoot.
Something let go on that front right side.
So Virginia Giant finishing up on the finish line, and we have ourselves a champion. Deal Wilson, with a little help from up above when Excalibur was eliminated, when Dan Marquardt car died after crushing 6 cars, and then its engine quit. Virginia Giant couldn't get around him. On his second chance in the championship round, he crushes all the cars and moves on and wins the Monster Truck Pull here in Philadelphia. Association, the popularity of this sport seems to continue to grow.
It certainly does. We had over 30,000 fans here tonight. We're really proud of the Budweiser Triple Crown of Motorsports. Very successful event. We're excited.
Any plans for the future in this event?
Well, we rely on a company called SRO Promotions, headed by Bob George and Ed Thayer. They come up with a lot of our ideas. We're just proud to sanction it.
For Tony Vaccaro, this is Steve Physioc, and we hope you'll be with us next time for the U.S. Hot Rod Association Triple Crown. The Budweiser United States Hot Rod Association Triple Crown of Motorsports is a presentation of Bud Sports through the facilities of ESPN.